Frosty.
Frosty. Frosty. Frosty.
Hey everybody, it's me again, Will. Here we are, another week of Frosty vlogs. I'm actually really excited to be getting back at this. Old business before new business. Last week, I told you guys that I was getting Pokemon, and I wanted to watch Fantastic Beasts: Where to Find Them and Doctor Strange this weekend. I can tell you right off the bat, did not get a chance to go see the movies in the theaters, but I did see some other stuff. That'll be fun to talk about. Did get Pokemon. I love Pokemon. This version is really good. I've had ups and downs with it so far. You know, there've been times where I thought, well, maybe if it could go a little bit faster, and sometimes I've thought, well, where are all the Pokemon I want to catch? I want the new Pokemon. I keep seeing the same Pokemon over and over again. Inevitably, I'm really liking the direction the story's going so far. Just to give you a basic rundown, there's several islands you go to for trials. You test yourself against the champions, and then you go ahead and you fight the kahuna of the island just to prove yourself. This is very different from every other generation, where the goal has been to capture several badges with your Pokemons, and you go and you face the Elite Four, and it's you beat the champion, you're great, you're awesome. This one has a different story going to it, and I'm pretty sure something else is going to happen once I beat all the islands. I'm only on the third island right now. I just completed my second challenge, and I found out that a lot of Pokemon in my party can't or won't evolve because one of them was a male and only the females of their type will evolve, and two of them won't evolve until I get to specific areas in the game, which don't open up till later on. One of them would only evolve during the day, and I picked up Pokemon Moon because I thought, oh, well, I love dark types, so let's get Moon, which would hopefully generate more dark types in my game. What it really means is you're 12 hours opposite your current time in your 3DS system. So I'm always playing at night until it's night for me. Then I get to play during the day. So I have to wait all day to get to evolve this thing. And I could cheat and change the time on my 3DS to something to make it daylight, but I mean, come on. Part of the experience is playing the game the way you got it. You know, I don't want to do to this what I did to Animal Crossing, which was repeat New Year's every year for several hours over the course of days until I paid off every possible debt. Animal Crossing was an addiction. You can ask both of my parents and my sister, because I got all of them to play it. If you haven't tried it, don't. Seriously, it's so addicting. It will suck you in. But yeah, Pokemon happened, and that was really cool. I think that about covers my old business. Current business, I took my hair down today. I could only find one hairband, actually. Well, I wanted to have it up. When only half of it's up, it kind of looks weird because the back is down. And so I figured just let it down. And I kind of like this. Like, I don't hate this. I'm still going to keep hairbands. I still want to keep my hair ties for just in case, you know, I'm eating. Because the worst thing that can happen is my hair gets all up in my mouth when I'm trying to eat something. Because not only does it taste bad, but then I think there's food in my hair and I'm going to have to clean that out later. And that's super gross. But I feel like it's finally... I need to brush it more, definitely. But... it's thick enough that it's starting to stay, and I really like that. So that's just a little bit about me. Then the movies I've been watching. One that I'm really happy I just watched. I watched Kingpin yesterday, and my dad loves the movie. I've never seen it, and I watched it. It's like, this was a really good movie. It was really funny. Bill Murray, as always, great playing a huge jerk. Woody Harrelson was really funny. I don't see a lot of movies with Amish people, and I don't know if it's just because people don't care to see them in movies or what. But I mean, as someone with zero experience with the culture, I thought it was really interesting how they played him. So if you're looking for something to laugh at for a good chunk of time, I'd give Kingpin a watch. To some of my friends, I might need to apologize. I watched all of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives on Netflix, which is about 25 episodes over the course of a day, while playing Pokemon. So I was only half invested, and I wasn't watching it for Guy Fieri. I'm not going to pretend to know how to pronounce his name, even though I heard it several times. I watched it because I like food. I don't know if you can tell by the general size of me. I'm a bit of a bigger fella. Food is nice, and it's nice to imagine what it'd be like to travel around and try different foods and stuff. I mostly had it on for that, but yeah, my friends don't really like Guy Fieri. Guy, Italian name, blonde-haired dude. You know who I'm talking about. And if you don't, you're all right in their books. I don't have a problem with him personally, because I don't know him at all. But, everybody has their tastes. Otherwise, I wanted to move on to this new business for this week, and what I'm probably going to name this vlog about. I wanted to talk about the Minnesota Goodbye. Now, I've already mentioned to you guys, I'm from Minnesota. Again, where the Frosty and Frosthold comes from in Frosty vlogs, it's very much me. Anyone who isn't familiar with this, there's this phenomenon called the Minnesota Goodbye, where it's time to leave, and we say, all right, I better be heading out, which is code for I've got like 40 plus minutes to just sit here and say whatever I've been meaning to say, but wasn't willing to bring up for the hours we spent together. Because that's exactly what we do. I don't know why we decide to hide the intentions of our discussions until we're just about to leave. Maybe it's because we figure, oh, if I throw it in at the end there, then they can't get mad and we won't have hours of awkwardness between us. And if they like it, then we could spend the last chunk of time I'm planning to stay here talking about it, which would be neat. And then we can be like, man, I wish we had more time to talk about this. Guess we'll have to get together some other time and talk about it then, when one of us will have something else to secretly bring up at the end of the discussion, which would carry on into another one if we like it and cut it short if we don't. Just a theory that I'm literally coming up with right now. Zero process went into that thought beforehand. So if that's not it, I have no idea what the reason is that we do it. I just know that everyone does it. It's happened at, I think, every party I've been to. It happens at family gatherings. It can happen at home, where you're just like, I gotta get going. I gotta go do this thing. But you stick around, because what if something happens before I go? That's the phenomenon of the Minnesota Goodbye. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I've realized that I kind of do that with these vlogs. I've been trying to look into channels that give me tips and such on how to improve these, because I want, an audience. I want you guys to be watching, and I want you to enjoy these. And the faster I can become better at this, the easier it'll be to look back on my previous work and think, that wasn't so bad. But while I'm still working on it, I have to learn. One of the things I've learned about is it's suggested you have a topic lineup kind of planned out before you start these things. And I think to myself, maybe talk to myself. I think to myself, this is what I want to talk about. And today it was, all right, I want to talk about Pokemon and the movies I said I was going to see and I wanted to see, didn't get to see, things that I've been watching, and then I really want to talk about the Minnesota Goodbye. I was hoping to not put this at the end, which is kind of what it seems like I'm doing, because I wanted the irony of a Minnesota Goodbye in the middle, like it was the meat of a sandwich. But unfortunately, I failed to do that and will not put in the time to edit it to make it look like I did it successfully. I'd rather just have this weird discussion point and trailing offness that I'm going to cut off here. I'm supposed to have these ideas set up ahead of time so that I don't spend a bunch of time yammering and having a bunch of stutters, which is good. Thankfully, I've learned how to cut out most of my stuttering and pausing and connecting and-ing, but I kind of like having some of them in too, because it's not just my thinking process, it's how I speak. I do connect one thought to another by these little verbal bridges, and I am totally digressing here. The point I'm trying to make is that I Minnesota Goodbye with you right when I think, it's time to close. Is there anything else I want to talk about? And I'm like, oh, shoot, I wanted to bring up this, or hey, what would be fun is to bring up that. And then I spend an extra 1-2 minutes talking about it, and it might not come across as much in the video, but when I'm editing it, there is so much time spent in what I consider my Minnesota Goodbye of these vlogs, and I'm so glad that it's such a smaller format, because if this were a real conversation with you guys, that goodbye would go on forever. I kid you not. And speaking of goodbyes, I believe this is going to be where I cut this vlog off. Thank you very much for giving it a watch. Something in here you could connect to. If you have any questions about Minnesota Goodbyes or other parts of Minnesota culture, I can do my best to reach out and let you know about it in a future vlog or the comments. Anything else you want me to talk about, see, play, let me know. I'd love to connect with somebody, anybody, all of you. It'd be awesome. Let's make the hive mind, and have a great one.